Good morning, students. Welcome back to Sales Management. Today we are going to discuss about sales force motivation. I think it's one of the most important topic as far as sales management is concerned. People who are in the sales field, they must be always talking about a few terms. There are quite few usual terms they usually share it with others. Terms like target, it's something which is so common among the people of sales. Terms like rewards, terms like performance. Some salespeople may say that my target for this month is very, very high. I may not be able to achieve it. Some people may usually say that, okay, if I achieve my target, my reward is something which is suggested by the company, is recommended by the company is great. Some people may say that my performance for the last quarter was not up to the expected level. So these terms are something which is so much related to Salesforce. Now, I would say people who are able to come up with the best achievement in their target or best rewards if they're able to achieve, or if they come up with the best performance in their division, in their sales, I think they must be all carrying something which we call it as sales motivation. Unless they do not have that motivation consistently happening from the side of the company or from the sales team, they may not be able to achieve all these targets, rewards, or they cannot come up with this great performance at all. Sales motivation is something which is absolutely necessary for the organization to handle it very seriously. Now, let me give you a few more reasons why sales motivation is highly important. There are a few reasons that makes this term little more crucial. I would say one of the reasons is salespeople who are in the field, they're always carrying a great difficulty. They're always troubled with a lot of uncertainty. Let me make it a little more clear. What is this uncertainty in sales? This uncertainty is nothing but your customer can say anything to you. The customer can say a no. The customer may be frustrated with you. The customer may give you a negative feedback, or the customer may be giving you a lot of objections. So you are the one who's handling everything. This uncertainty is something which you have to face alone in the market when you go to the field. So you are carrying a difficulty. Unless you don't have a proper motivation, you will find it really difficult to manage your salesperson in the market, in the field. I would say another reason why sales motivation is really important. These people are quite alone in the market. Salesperson, a sales executive, when he's in the field, he's alone, meeting the customer, interacting with the customer, going through various places. He's completely alone in the market. He's completely alone in the field. I would say when other people in the department, when other people in the organization, when they are having the luxury of the AC cabins or the canteen food and a lot of other benefits, these poor salespeople are always in the field. They do not have the comfort of AC. They do not have the comfort of having the great food. They're always troubled with the market difficulties, and these people are quite alone. So this isolation is something which can make these people highly dissatisfied. So again, the relevance of having proper motivational factors. And the usual motivation reason. Each and every individual is quite unique. His aspirations are different, his needs are different, his drives are different. So it's very important that you need to come up with specific motivational factors to each and every individual in your sales team. I hope that the reasons for Salesforce motivation is clear to you. We specifically talked about 3 major reasons why you should carefully plan out Salesforce motivation in your organization. Now, I must always say that being a manager in the sales department, you must carefully design your sales force motivation. I must always say that it should be much better than the motivation which you are designing for your different departments in the organization, because of the specific reasons which we have cited just before this. Now, the next part of this presentation is about how we can link the Salesforce motivational with the motivational theories that we have learned. I'm sure you've all gone through a lot of in-depth about general motivational theories. You had organizational behavior in your first semester, and you must have learned many theories there, motivational theories. Now, it's very important that you need to have a very close understanding about those theories, and that will help you a lot while you design a motivational plan for your sales team in your organization. Let's talk about few of those theories, and I'll specifically say that how those theories can be taken into account, can be applied with Salesforce motivation. So let's consider Maslow's need hierarchy theory, as it is one of the most discussed theories of motivation. Now, what is Maslow is trying to explain, which all of us are familiar with? Maslow talks about few stages of needs which are considered as the factors of motivation, and each and every individual they achieve or they go for these different needs, and at different stages of his career different types of needs are going to motivate him. It is classified as physiological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness, esteem needs, and self-actualization. So it can be clearly applied in the case of Salesforce motivation also. Let's consider the example of a person who is just stepping into the sales job career. Once he starts his career, his motivational factors would be to have a sufficient amount of salary, a good amount of incentives and commissions, and later he must be looking for the security of his job, and it is very, very important as far as sales job is concerned. Later he may look for a good relationship he can generate inside and outside the organization. Then after having enough experience in the field, he goes to the motivational factors would be getting more recognition of his work, and later he must be looking for a challenging environment in his work, and he must be also looking for what kind of innovations can be bring in to the organization as far as his sales efforts are concerned. So this is something Maslow has explained in the case of motivation, and how a sales manager has to come up with a proper designing, how he has to make use of Maslow's need hierarchy theory. It can be helped to design a better Salesforce motivation. Now let's consider another important theory of motivation, that is called ERG theory of motivation, which is ERG. You can explain it as existence, relatedness, and growth. I would say that it is an extension of Maslow's need hierarchy theory itself. But when it comes to sales, I would say that there's a critical difference between ERG theory and Maslow's need hierarchy theory. The core reason is the core difference is ERG theory is not specifically linked to any specific order, whereas Maslow's need hierarchy theory is always linked with a particular order. So you can't go to the next level of your need unless you don't complete your first stages of, the previous stages of your need. So ERG theory, when it comes to the Salesforce motivation, I would say that the manager, when he designs a Salesforce plan, motivation plan, he can consider two types of needs together. Two levels of needs together. He can consider both existence and relatedness together for an employee, for an executive that he is handling. He can consider both a relationship and also a good amount of salary. He can consider the opportunity for the growth and also a proper amount of salary and incentive. Both can be offered to his team member, his sales executive. So this is very much important as far as a sales manager is again concerned, how he designs the Salesforce motivation based on ERG theory of motivation. The next theory we are going to discuss, which is expectancy theory, and that's slightly different from the last two theories that we have discussed. In the expectancy theory, as the diagram itself says, it is actually connected to reward. Basically your effort, your performance, which is directly linked to the reward system which every company is suggesting. I can explain it with the help of an example. If we consider an insurance company, just look at the way how they design their reward system. Usually, in the start of every month, this company will come up with a reward mechanism, a reward system, where they indicate that If one of the executive can achieve 100% of your target, you will be getting a reward like this, you'll be getting a benefit like this, or you'll be getting a price like this. Another maybe a different kind of a system would be there, where they say that 80% of the target, those who are achieving 80% of the target, the reward will be slightly different. So they will design a system like this, and which will be introduced to the employee in the very early stages of that month itself. So that is going to motivate the employee. So that reward which is initially designed by the company, that will motivate the employee. So he will decide what kind of an effort he must be putting in, or he has to put in the market field, to gain that desirable performance, which actually bring him to the reward which the company has decided. So this is about the expectancy theory. Another important theory of motivation is equity theory, and equity theory has a lot of relevance as far as sales force motivation is concerned, because each and every employee believes that the organization should have a fair treatment to every employee in the organization, because everyone puts the inputs are going to be the same. It's your loyalty, it's your hard work, it's your commitment and trust. The inputs are going to be the same, and you may all get the outputs as salary, benefits, recognition and achievement. But the organization has to ensure that there's a fair balance, there is an equity maintained between the employees. So many times in the sales environment, in the sales context, there are people, they're going to compare their performance and their inputs and their outputs with others. And if they feel that the equity is not maintained, my colleague has been given a better preference, my colleague has been getting a better recognition, or he is treated differently. If an executive is forced to believe in it that way, the organization is not maintaining a proper balancing, fair balance is not maintained, then he's going to be demotivated heavily. So that should not be there. I mean, once you create your Salesforce motivation design, you must ensure that the motivational factors or the treatment towards the employee, the management of people, everything is handled in a proper way. There is no unfair treatment to any of the employees has been adopted by the organization. So that can be another solid foundation for designing your sales. The last theory we are going to discuss in this motivation is Herzberg's two factors theory. So everyone knows what are those two categories of factors which motivate an employee in an organization, which are motivation factors and hygiene factors. This is highly significant in the case of sales motivation as also concerned, because your manager must come up with a well designed motivation plan where he has to combine hygiene factors with motivation factors. Both should be combined to ensure that the executive is really motivated in the organization. He has to ensure that proper salary, work environment, uh, peer relationship, security of the job, along with the possibilities of advancement, recognition, achievement, the probabilities of the growth. So a manager must be able to integrate these two categories of factors, and that should be offered to the employee, to the executive, so to the salesperson in the organization, so that the employee, the executive can bring the best performance to the organization. So let me wind up the session of sales motivation. Let me give you a rewind of what we have discussed so far. We started understanding what exactly the Salesforce motivation is all about, and we also looked at the importance of Salesforce motivation. Then we were trying to associate the various theories of motivation, how you can make use of all those theories, how you can depend on all those general motivation theories in the context of Salesforce motivation. Hope it was clear to you, because the ultimate objective of this session is to ensure that when you design something for your sales team, you must take the platform, you must take the foundation of the sales, the general motivation theories that can help you a lot. Thank you.